Hey, good morning. I am just on my way to work and realized that you guys get to hear from Cami and Cami's Corner. So I pulled over to send a message out to you, the future of tomorrow. First of all, I just want to appreciate the heck out of you. Every time that you are kind, every time that you are understanding, every time that you are compassionate, every time that you forgive yourself or someone else, every time that you extend love here or out there, you are changing the world. You're healing yourself and all of us. And I want to thank you for that. Sometimes we don't think of it like that, that we're so connected to each other. This morning I was thinking about, if you haven't seen The Greatest Showman yet, then that is definitely your homework assignment from Cami, because I've been 3 times in the theaters to see it. It is probably one of my top favorite movies in the history of movies. I love musicals, anything that, put it to music, and I'm interested in this. The message that is portrayed is just absolutely beautiful and resonates with me on a really high level. The equality and love for all human beings, no matter what shape, size, color, height, nothing, none of that, excuse me, none of that matters. What matters is that we're equal and that we see each other as that, right? And then we can have empathy and compassion and charity towards one another. So my message of what I was thinking about this morning, to each of us, me included, is it kind of goes along with what I was mentoring a gentleman on yesterday. He is in a lot of pain. He's struggling really bad. He's had chronic physical illness for a long time, and the painkillers and the meds and the things that the doctors have him on, just they help a little, but they don't take it away from him, And he's to a point where he's like, I don't know if I want to stay on this planet. This is so incredibly hard. And I listened to him. I loved him. I validated him. I heard him in his sorrow, in his shame, in his struggles, in his anger. And it's important to allow ourselves to feel all of it. I've got this emoji that the emojis on my lanyard, to remind me that all of my emotions are welcome. They're not comfortable, not even, some of them aren't even fun, and I really am motivated by fun. But that's not the point of the emotions. The emotions that we experience and that we feel and that show up for us in our world, they have a message for us. And that's all. It's not, I grew up thinking that emotions were good if you're happy, bad if you're sad or angry or hateful or shamed. And I've since rewritten that story. I don't believe that anymore. I believe that the emotions show up because they're an experience for us to have. They show up to bring us a message about ourselves, about our belief system, about our subconscious, what's in there. And if I can just take a deep breath, slow down and be like, wow, something's coming up for me. I'm not sure what it is. Let me take some time to be with it. If I can honor and love myself enough to be with me in that space, holy flip, everything shifts. And once the emotion is felt and acknowledged and accepted, then it moves on. But when I resist, like I did for most of my life, I'm like, oh, I feel like off, I feel sadness, or I feel so ashamed of myself, I'm mad at myself for getting mad, I shouldn't have done that. And I would judge myself out of feeling those feelings, and I would stuff them down and say, I'm not okay to feel that, and I'd push them aside and go on smiling because I'm happy Cami, right? And what happens with that, it's like the Dead Sea. It has an inlet. Water flows into the Dead Sea, but there's no outlet. There's nowhere for it to go. And so then all that water just sits there and gets stagnant and grows mold and icky stuff, right? That's same with our emotions. Like, the emotions come in, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling something. And then if we just stuff them down, we're turning ourselves into the Dead Sea. Rather than expressing them, letting them go. If I'm angry, to be able to be like, ah, let out a big roar and growl, or to punch a pillow, or to scream into a pillow. If I'm sad, to have someone's arm around me and cry, right? Now it has an outlet. Now my emotions have come in, they're felt, accepted, and now they move on. Thank you, sadness, for showing me, what it is that I needed to learn today, that I really love this person. And so when I got, I'm experiencing a loss of that relationship, no wonder I'm sad. It makes sense that sadness would show up for me, right? And to have compassion and love towards myself for feeling those feelings. I'm learning this stuff at my age, and I'm going to share it with you to just help you be loads and loads ahead of me. And so as I was mentoring this gentleman yesterday, and he's expressing that he's in this great deal of pain and doesn't know if he wants to keep showing up. As we worked together and talked about the power of our words, Dr. Emoto's water crystal experience. If you haven't seen that, get on YouTube and watch it. The rice experience, YouTube, like Google that. Do it. Participate in it. Me and my children did the rice experience so they could experiment, so they could see the power of our words. One bowl of rice that we say I love you to, a week later looked like the same bowl of rice. The rice that we said I hate you to turned into black, moldy, it mushed, and it was like gross. And the difference is our words. And the words that I'm thinking about myself, I'm 60 to 70% water. And so what I'm thinking, I'm actually creating. I'm actually creating at this level on a physical manifestation. Do I look like a beautiful chandelier water crystal, or do I look like moldy, yellow, old, stagnant yuckness? And that's not a word, but it is now. So when the words that I speak to myself and think about myself here, if I pass the mirror when I'm going to the bathroom and I'm like, ew, I can't believe you have that hair. Why do you have that hair? Why do you have that nose? Or, oh, my face. Why do I have this face, right? If that's the way I'm talking to myself, the water crystals inside my body go, okay, that's how we feel. All right, we'll create that. I'm the creator, right? We're the creators of our world, and we're creating the physical body that we're living in. So in my mentoring session with this friend of mine, I said, you're realizing you don't have total control over the pain. The pain is going to exist, and you've fought it and resisted and hated yourself through it and hated the pain. And I said, what would happen if you chose to love yourself through the pain? To accept that you are in pain, that this is very painful, and to acknowledge that you're still okay, you're alive. You can choose how to show up even though the pain's there. The pain's not going away either way right now, right? It may be a season, it may be there for a long time, but you get to choose how you show up even though you're in pain. And I had him say things like, I'm glorious, I'm beautiful, I am love, I am light, I am abundance, I am success, I am expanding. And worked with him through that, acknowledging that he's in pain and acknowledging that he is a creator. By the time the mentoring session was done, holy flip. He's like, I feel so much peace. I feel so much relaxation. He goes, but Cami, I still am in pain. I said, yeah, the pain's still there, but now you're choosing to show up in love instead of in fear. And so that's my challenge to both you and myself today, is to love what is, like Byron Katie teaches us to do, to take a deep breath, accept, acknowledge the emotions, the feelings that are coming up in you. Every one of us feel that way sometimes because we're equal. We're all human beings on this planet having an experience together. So experience your emotions. Feel them. Feel the depth of them. Get the message and let them move on so that we can be alive and full of love of self. So that is Cami's message from Cami's corner of her van this morning. You guys make today awesome. I love you. Mwah.